Hello. So today in this session we are going to learn about the branding. So one of the most valuable and intangible assets of a firm is its brand. And building a strong brand is both the art and the science. It requires a careful planning, a deep long-term commitment, and creatively designed and executed marketing efforts in order to create a successful brand which can occupy a distinct image in the mind of the customers. So in this chapter we are going to learn about the basics of branding. There is so much thing about branding which you can learn, but we're just going to stick to this basic thing like what is a brand and how does branding works. So what is a brand? It is a name, term, sign, symbol, or a design, or a combination of any of them which has been intended to identify the goods or services of one seller and differentiate it from its competitors. So what how the brand will be helpful, like what role a brand can play. So number one, if you can successfully able to create a brand, it will help you to identify the maker. That means, like for example, this brand is of HUL or this brand is of PNG, so it will help us in identifying the maker. Second, it simplify the product handling. Like again, there is a entire lot of brand A, entire lot of brand B, so it will help in product handling. Third, in accounting, that means in inventory management as well as for the accounting, that which brand has contributed highest in sales or which brand has contributed lowest in sales. It offers you a legal protection. It is a symbol of quality. It creates a barriers to the entry that okay, they are already a successful brand in this particular category, so it is not doesn't make sense to enter into that particular category. It will definitely going to give a firm a competitive advantage, and most importantly, it will help in securing the premium prices. Like the value of the brand can help you to get a very premium price for a particular product. For example, if I buy a normal shoes and if I buy a same type of shoes of a Nike, the difference in the price will be very high, right? So that entire price difference is because of the role of the branding. So that's how like we came to branding. Like branding is nothing but it is endowing product and service the power of the brand. Just before a few moments I given you example that if I purchase a normal shoes and if I purchase a shoes of a Nike, uh, the shoes, when I said this is a Nike shoes, it has been empowered with a brand of Nike, like all the positive associations which has been associated with a brand Nike, right? So that is the main difference like in branding. So if you do a successful branding, you will be having a positive evaluation which can be termed as a brand equity. So brand equity is nothing but an added value endowed on a product or services which may be reflected in the way consumer thinks, feels and acts with respect to that particular brand. Right? So when I say I have a phone or a handset, mobile handset, and when I say I have a Apple handset, right? So all the feeling or the thought process which provokes when I speak the brand, that is called a brand equity. So there are basically three ingredients of the consumer-based brand equity. Number one, if you have a positive brand equity, then brand equity arises from the differences in consumer response, like a normal handset and Apple handset, right? So the difference in the response, the first thing. Second, difference in the response is a result of what? Consumer brands knowledge, which deals with all the thoughts, feelings, images, experiences, and belief. And third, brand equities reflect in the perception, reference, and behavior toward that particular product when it has been associated or empowered with the power of a brand. So these are the three key ingredients of consumer-based brand equity. Now, if you have a positive brand equity, or maybe what we can say, if you have a positive associations for a brand which has been endowed to the product, then you may definitely have some advantage. So, if the brand is really strong in that particular product category, they may have this many advantage. There will be improved perception of a product performance. You can fetch a larger margins. The demand will be more inelastic. There will be greater loyal base of customers, greater trade operations, less vulnerability to the competitions and crisis, increased marketing communication effectiveness, and possible licensing opportunities. These all the advantages which strong brand always fetch with the help of branding. So, what are the drivers of the brand equity? So, there are many drivers of brand equity, but basically the main drivers is brand element. So, brand element is nothing but a brand name, slogan, symbol, logos, URL, jingles, characters, color, and many things. Let us learn with some example. So, when we say logo, the Coca-Cola is a very famous logo. Language, like it is not a normal chicken but Mac chicken, Mac burger. So they used to use similar kind of language to differentiate products. We all know popular music or sound of Intel. Then BAM, like when we aroma of a product is also one kind of key brand element, like particular aroma or stink aroma of Dettol or maybe a Tiger Balm or Vicks, right? So that is also one kind of unique association with a brand. A taste of the product, physical interface, color, font, tagline like McDonald's, I'm just loving it, or Nike, just do it, shape of the product, symbol, and a pattern. So this all are different elements of brand which helps in differentiating one brand from another. So when we think about brand elements, these are the few criteria which you need to keep in mind while choosing the brand element. It should be memorable, it should be meaningful, it should be likable, it should be transferable, it should be adaptable, and it should be protectable. So these are the 6 main criteria which we should think whenever we are thinking of giving any brand element. It may be a logo, it may be a tagline, it may be a symbol, or it may be anything, or it may be a jingle as well. So you just need to rate your brand element on these 6 criteria, right? In order to decide that whether it will be effective or impactful to create a successful brand or not. So these are the 2 examples of Indian brands which has been very good in all the 6 criteria, and those which have created a differentiated image in the Indian market. Right, Lifebuoy, you all know, it is one of the leading brand in the soap as well as other categories. Basically, with an association of protecting its terms. And Airtel, as its name symbolizes, that it is a leading telecommunication company, and they are currently a market leader in the Indian telecommunication industry. These are some of the popular slogans: the complete man of Raymond's, the joy of flying of Jet Airways, God's own country of the Kerala tourism. So apart from the brand elements, a brand can also be empowered with the help of some of the secondary sources of association. Like it can be a place like country of origin. When we used to say that okay, there is a German engine, so the engine has been empowered with a country of origin like German origin, or maybe a Kolhapuri chapel, or a maybe basmati rice from the Punjab, and so on. Or it may be like with the events or third party association like Lakme's Fashion Week, or maybe Lakme's IFA Award, or so on. So the events with which the brand is associated. The employees and endorsers, like this brand is endorsed, like Dairy Milk is endorsed by, like, let's say, Amitabh Bachchan. So again, that they can leverage all the positive association with the celebrity who endorses the brand, right? Other branding like alliances, like there is an Intel inside in this particular laptop, or maybe the ingredient, or maybe a company like Tata Chroma. So again, they have been empowered with a brand called Tata, and maybe the extensions like, for example, Dove have started with the shampoo. Now there is also Dove body lotion and so on. So all these product or brand extensions, like again, they have been empowered with the product has been empowered with the brand. So this all will going to benefit the secondary sources, and result of all this is going to reflect in the valuation of the brand. So if the marketing efforts and all the efforts of the company will be successful in creating a strong brand, then it will going to reflect in the value of a brand. So let's see some of the most valuable brands of the world. So these are the list of top 10 global brands. As we can see that Apple is leading with almost valuation of uh, 2,34,241 million dollars, followed by Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Coca-Cola, Samsung, Toyota, Mercedes, McDonald, and Disney. These are the top 10 global brands, which are very high valuation, which you can see. It's not valuation of their assets; it's an intangible asset, which has been, which is the power of the brand. And similar study was also done by Interbrand to give you the most valuable brands of India, and we are very happy to share that Tata is one of the leading brand of India with a valuation of 7,87,220 crores, right? Followed by Reliance Industry, Airtel, HDFC, LIC, State Bank of India, Infosys, Mahindra, ICICI, Godrej, and so on. So I hope that you have understood the basic concepts of branding and the advanced concept like brand valuation and how you can measure the brand valuation and rest of the thing we are going to learn in the subsequent chapter. Thank you.